everybody, welcome to Aspirants Hub and welcome to this series called The Answer Behind the Rank, where we are learning objective parameters with respect to answer writing. Today, we are on the fifth video of the series where we will be learning different types of value addition pointers that can be quoted in our answers. So, you can quote these pointers either in the introduction or to support different arguments in the body or in the conclusion as well. Okay, and you'll be surprised to know that there are 25 different types of value addition pointers which can be quoted in our paper. Okay, see what happens is we tend to quote only a few things, right? For example, we'll quote the data, then we quote Supreme Court judgments or the case laws, then we'll quote the different committee recommendations, then we have different reports, then we have the SDGs, right? There are limited things that we tend to write in our answers, but trust me, I will teach you 25 different types of value addition pointers through this video. And one important thing to note is we'll have studied all of this, especially during our prelims. These are the factual aspects of the prelims syllabus. And what you will be doing is when you're studying for prelims, make use of that these facts, keep an open mind and see how you can use them in your mains answers. Okay, let us get started. See, wherever necessary, I will give the examples. Otherwise, the points itself are self explanatory. So, first we have the data and the statistics. Everybody knows it. Then we have these different committees, commissions, or councils. They will be giving us data, recommendations, which can be quoted in the paper. Then we have different reports, national, global reports. Same, we'll get data as well as recommendations from them. Then we have indices, again, national as well as global indices. Then we have different operations and defense exercises. See, for example, Operation Netra. This was conducted by the Indian Army in Ladakh. See, what happens is in the areas prone to militancy, insurgency, extremism, and all of that, the army or the paramilitary forces that are stationed, they try to conduct certain, camps or certain initiatives to build rapport with the people. Why? Because since the army or the paramilitary staff is stationed, it kind of creates a fearful situation among the people. They are scared to go out. They're like, oh, military standing, what should we do? All this fear is there. So that is why, to alleviate that fear, these operations are carried out. And Operation Netra was an eye checkup camp that was conducted by the Indian Army in Ladakh. Okay, then the defense exercises. For example, if there is a question on India Sri Lanka relations, then you can go ahead and quote this exercise there. Okay, then we have different declarations and proclamations. For example, if there is a question on women, either in GS1 or GS2, you can go ahead and write about Beijing Declaration. So you can quote it in GS3, GS4 also, wherever, if you get a chance to quote. Okay, then talking about Yulu Proclamation of UNESCO, this is in GS1. I think this proclamation is related to linguistic diversity or something. So if there's a question on language, or if you want to write something about language, you can write this proclamation. Okay, then we have constitutional articles. So every other polity question, you will have a scope to write constitutional articles. Then we have case laws and judgments. So we have seen this already. I mean, we know this already. Then we have different government programs, initiatives, and schemes. Then we have national vision statements. For example, achieving Viksit Bharat by 2047. This is a vision statement. Then we have international programs and initiatives. For example, international program of One Health or Build Back Better, which is very, very prominent after COVID, right? And then we have international vision statements. For example, this is by UNCCD. It is striving to achieve land degradation neutrality by 2030. Okay. Then we have different initiatives by different stakeholders like bureaucrats, NGOs, civil society, or corporate social responsibility initiatives. For example, Mission Sampurna. So, this is an initiative to ensure food security by one of the IAS officers in some district of Assam. Okay, then we have Nani Kali program. This is by the Mahindra Group, which is related to the education of young girls. So, you can quote this. Then we have different statements given by various personalities or national bodies, international organizations. For example, this statement was made by PM Modi, that is, self help groups are nation help groups. So, if there is a question on self help groups in GS2, you can write this. Okay, next we have quotes. So there are different quotes which you can collect on human rights, poverty, and wherever relevant, you can quote them. Okay. Then we have poems and verses. For example, there is this statement: "Arogyam param bhagyam, swasthyam sarvartha sadhanam," which means good health is the greatest fortune. So if you have any question related to health in GS2, you can go ahead and write this. Okay. And one more important thing to note is, see, if you have any statement in Sanskrit or any language, any regional language, right? Always make sure that you provide its English translation. Okay, don't forget to do this. Next is, you can go ahead and write about ideas of thinkers, philosophers, great personalities. For example, about Gandhi's seven sins, that is politics without principle. Example, politics without principle is a sin, or Aristotle's golden mean, Buddha's Madhya Marga. So all these things you can quote in your papers. Then talking about the sustainable development goals. See, sustainable development goals we all are already quoting, SDG 1 to 17, etc. But here, what I had done is, in my notes, I had collected some micro targets with respect to SDGs also. For example, we have this topic on micro irrigation in GS3. So the exact SDG for micro irrigation is 6.4. Likewise, for infrastructure also, you have exact, micro targets within the SDGs. And there are, for different aspects, different themes from the syllabus can be mapped to different sub targets of the SDGs. Please try and do this, okay? It will make your answer stand out. Then you can quote the names of books. For example, there is a book called Designing with Nature by Ian McHarg. So this is on urbanization. Here, the author has spoken about various aspects related to urbanization and how, urbanization can be made nature friendly. So whenever there's a question in GS1 related to urbanization and its issues, you can quote this book. Okay. Then national and international days. For example, June 5th is World Environment Day. So if there is a question in GS3 on conservation of environment, or somewhere you feel that you can bring in the aspect of conservation, so you can talk about June 5. Then if you want to talk about child labor in GS1, right? So you can say that June 12th is World Day Against Child Labor. So there are, see, you don't have to remember many things. Collect a few things which you can easily remember. Okay. Then we can quote best practices models. For example, very well known to all, Tamil Nadu model of rainwater harvesting, right? Then collect case studies. For example, Kudambashri model of self-help group in Kerala is very, very well known. So can quote these things. Then we have recent events from current affairs. For example, if there is something related to poverty and all of that in GS3 especially, then you can go ahead and write this, that World Bank has officially increased its international poverty line recently from $2.15 to $3 per day. Okay. Then you can quote data and whatever you get, like keywords, statements from the budget and the economic survey. Then the last aspect is different diagrams and maps can be drawn in your answers. Okay. I hope this video helps. If you have any doubt, please feel free to post it in the comments below and I will get back. Okay. Thank you so much. All the very best.